The Drumheller Valley of Alberta was a thriving coal mining centre in the 1940s and early 1950s, with 32 mines in operation. By 1969, there was only one mine left, but the valley had potential as a merchant centre for the rich surrounding farmlands, as a tourist centre for the Dinosaur Trail, and as the home of a federal penitentiary. Was the population adjusting to these changes? Were some people being left out? The city of Drumheller, with a population of 5,000, is surrounded by little villages without sewer and water facilities. The future of these villages was in serious doubt. In 1969, the Challenge for Change program of the National Film Board and the University of Calgary's Division of Continuing Education and School of Social Welfare undertook a joint action research project. They wanted to determine if a community development worker using half-inch videotape recording equipment as a tool in the community development process could catalyze community dialogue and aid the people to bring about change through self-help. Initially, the community development worker, Tony Karsh, made the decisions about when and where to use the camera and microphone as he got to know the people in the valley and they responded to him. This seeding process eventually focused on East Cooley, a little burg 12 miles from Drumheller, where the last remaining mine was situated.
Has the plant been working pretty well steady, or just off and on passing?
Off and on lately.
Well, since holidays, well, it's, you know, we've been working. We did work steady for about 3 weeks.
4 weeks, yeah.
Putting in 4 weeks.
Almost 4 weeks.
Huh?
About 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks, yeah. Then it kind of slowed down a bit. Yeah, then it kind of slowed down a bit.
After shooting in the streets and in the mine, Tony called a public meeting to see East Cooley on television. 250 people turned out.
A sample tape about some of our discussions in the community. And I suspect some of you here will be in this other tape. Then we're going to show you a 20-minute edited tape. And after this edited tape, we want you folks here to look at it and say, yes, this is a problem for us, or no, that's wrong, they didn't say it right. And we want you to tell us what we should do with these tapes. Maybe after we're finished, if they go chuck them in an empty mine shaft or something. I don't know. But they're for you. If you see any use of these tapes, if in the discussion afterwards, we'll be taking the pictures. If you see that in some way these may be helpful, that it's up to you what happens from here on in. Well, now, as we look at the town, and you say that it had its peak with several thousand people in the early 50s, did the people then have an idea that this town was going to decline as it has?
No, at that time they felt that things were going to go along and remain, but...
Well, nearly everybody that built here wouldn't build permanent, though. They
Yeah.
didn't know. Nobody knows how long a mining camp's going to last.
Are people satisfied that this is East Cooley and this is the way it is, this is the way it's going to be?
No, we're not satisfied, but I mean, we're going to stay here because we have our homes here and where we're going to go. I think anybody that's over 65, we can't get work anyway. So you've got to make the best of it. And if we all make the best of it, probably something will turn up. That's what we want. We want something to come down here and help us out. That's what we want.
Why not utilize East Cooley and start to building some new little town around here?
Who should do this?
Who should do well? Federal government should step in.
Yeah, but why should they build in East Cooley? I don't live here. I live in Rosedale.
Well, I know.
Why should they come from Drumheller and build in East Cooley when they can build in Rosedale and it's only 4 miles away? Why talk 12?
I don't know. Maybe someone here has an answer. And you've seen some of the work. I listen to you and I hear very loud and strong that there are problems here, that something should be done by somebody. And we're suggesting that unless you decide that it's important enough that you're going to become involved, I doubt very much whether very much is going to happen. We'll have had a pleasant evening, we'll fold up the equipment and say, goodbye, it's been a very nice meeting you. And it must be the initiative of the community. Well now, who's the community? Is there a council in town? Is there a management committee in town? Is there an advisory group in town?
No.
Wow.
A fire committee.
Oh, a fire committee. Sorry. In a way, that's almost an advantage. You're sort of starting from scratch.
Pete Ludwig from Rosedale, a little village only 4 miles from Drumheller, was at the East Cooley meeting. Right afterwards, he went to Tony and invited him to help the newly formed 5-member Rosedale Citizens Committee.
What do you think of the potential of this equipment here in Rosedale? Can it be of any help?
Well, I wouldn't have approached you, I wouldn't have called you if I thought it wasn't.
Well, in what way?
Hey?
In what way do you see this can be of some help?
Well, it can probably help us in more than one way. One thing, if we can get the proper tape and put down the right way the pictures, we can rile the people more to get off their fanny, to get behind us, to help us to do what we are trying to do for them.
And when you say do for them, in a very few words, what's that?
Well, to better their environment, let's put it this way, to improve the town, to make something out of the town instead of just sitting on our prat and just letting it slide all the time. We're down to the point now nobody wants to even paint their house. And with this equipment, I think that we can get something over.
Yeah. Well, now, as you remember, at East Cooley, we made very clear that this equipment will be available, and I'll be available, but just to help, that whatever is really done will have to be up to you people here. And it's in your hands, and I'm offering you this, but it's, again, you're going to be the bosses of this, right?
That's right. We realize that you aren't here to come up here and paint our houses or give us water or do this for us or do that for us. But you are here as you may say, as a certain guide. In a way, you will be a guide. And in another way, you are going to put in something that someone talks about, but you can actually see it in front of your eyes. It's got to move somebody.
It's in terrible shape.
Right.
Do you feel, Bill, like the committee feels that this area has been neglected too long, that we have...
From this point on, Pete and his committee changed their name to Rosedale Citizens Action Committee, and Tony started to help them. Tony trained the committee in the use of VTR equipment, and they set out to interview the people of Rosedale.
We've undertaken to form a committee to try and make some improvements in Rosedale. We call it the Rosedale Action Citizens Committee, and what our objectives are to get water and gas and the likes of those kind of improvements.
Some civilization.
Right. This is pretty well what we're after, and we're around getting to an idea of what the people think of it, whether we have their support and such. What do you feel about the way things are in Rosedale now?
No good.
No good, eh?
Sure, lots of people over here no got no water, no gas. We should supposed to be getting some kind of better system, like we got the wind and it can stay like that long time.
This is
because there should be some kind of progress over here too.
Well, I certainly do. I think a community like this should have gas and water and sewer. See, this place is not dying out. It's actually holding its own, and it'll improve once they have it. It wouldn't pay me to live in a city because I'm out on the highway all summer anyway.
right.
At all times, the interview was played back on the spot, and the person interviewed could ask to have his tape erased if he did not like it. In most cases, this control gave people confidence, and they were pleased to see how easily and well they had expressed themselves.
Never mind, listen, let's not argue.
As the committee asked people questions for the camera, this process catalyzed discussions that continued long after the cameras had moved on. The community began to get heavily involved.
And never bought it.
If you moved your house up to Rosedale, you got no water.
But you
If
got
we're
your
back
own,
to that
yeah,
again.
but you got your own property.
And we'll have to pack our water. Where?
Back
Where
your
from?
water?
A
That's what
mile
I'm
with a
going to
pail
tell
of
you.
water?
There's a well over there, but nobody will fight for it and turn around and have a setup going, eh? Or it's the same thing as gas. There's no gas here, but yet they want to bring the gas in. Nobody wants to get together. Huh? Then they never will get together. What?
They're getting together.
Sure, they're getting together. Just chat and have a good drink and get on a good drunk. That's it. The gas has gone by. Eh? And everybody's still with their, what? Fuel, eh? Or carry the wood and coal in. Guys are all the same. I figured that gas business was all settled in here. Everything sounded sure. Sure, it sounded sure. The gas line went by. And nobody's hooked up to the gas line. That's what it's going to be.
No, gas is on its way here.
Well, it will go by.
The gas is on.
You watch and see if it don't go by. Eh? Everybody will talk and chat in here, and that's as far as it's going to get. A couple guys are going to do all the arguing and try and get it all together, but nobody's going to back him up, so he's just going to give up and say, to hell with it. I've been like that till now. What's a few more years to go?
I bet you $10 by fall we'll have gas here.
Yeah, you have gas, and who's going to be hooked up? Nobody. And who's going to do the paying? Nobody. Eh? Nobody's going to pay. Eh? So what are you going to do? It's the same thing as the water. There's the water right over there. Everybody else here's got bad water, they're carrying the water. And yet the well is right there and the water there. Matter of just around cleaning it out, put a good well house on it, put a good pump in there, and each man put his own line in. And there it is. But they won't do it.
Well, you can't afford to put your own line in.
Why? What?
You'd have a million lines over there.
Never mind million lines over there. You all have the one line go out and everyone join into those lines. What's 100 or 200 feet?
Well,
with a backhoe.
Working on.
You can get a. You're working on.
Yeah.
They've been working on it for 25 years, and I never seen a movement out there.
Well, now we're moving.
I slept at Rosedale here, and they
Yeah.
want water here.
Yeah.
What do you want? You want to walk on here. You want to walk, you have your walks.
They want sidewalk.
And
nobody even walks on the sidewalk, they walk on the road.
That's right, they walk on the road
So
and
they
then
spend
walk.
how many $1,000
And they were
there?
off of the water, off the well. Everybody was off the water around here.
Well, sure.
And nobody wanted water.
Yeah.
And right now you mentioned no water here.
Yeah.
They have all the water they want, if they would have wanted it.
Well, that's what I'm trying to say.
Right.
They're the people, they don't even think. They don't even know how to think. What are you going to do?
Mark.
So carry the water.
Look at Mark Sands there. He's got a good pump.
Drink that old rusty iron water there. That'll toughen them up.
As long as you got social credit government here, you won't get anything.
What was that again?
As long as you got social credit government, you won't get anything. You know why?
No, why?
Because they send everything to Calgary or Edmonton. That's why.
Well, why do you suppose they do this? Isn't it because the people around here
Well, they're
just sit down
selfish.
and-
They're selfish
sit
people.
down as individuals and
isn't
don't
that
make an
interesting
effort to try
point?
and get something in?
Huh?
Isn't it the reason we don't get anything in here mainly because we don't try?
It's not because you don't
It's not
try.
that.
This-
You got
We're waiting for them to bring it to us rather than us going out to get it.
no, it's not that. Even if you cried for it, them guys just turn a deaf ear to you.
How do we know?
Well, we tried it.
When did we try?
Oh, lots of times. Even
Last time, you don't even have sewer and water in here.
Yeah.
What attraction do you have? Why should an amateur come in here?
You know
Why?
Why?
I know they won't.
You know why? Because they always call this the ditch, and they figure this is the rear end of Alberta. That's always the last to be thought of. Cut that off, eh?
What improvements do you think we need?
Well, I would like to see a lot of people get water, and I would like to see the gas come through. And if there are any other things that would actually improve our district in our little town, I think we should fight for these things, for their rights.
Have you got a view as to how we're going to get these things as a community? What do we have to do as a community to get them?
Well, that's hard to say what we have to do. I imagine we have to just more or less prod the government, and with the committee that we have, the working committee that we have right now, I think that we're going to get somewhere.
Better for us. Well, it's better. It's everything come. It sure is better.
You'd like to see that, would you?
Yeah. Yes.
Well, why hasn't things come yet? Well, why haven't things come?
Because no people to ask him.
We want everything, not for us even, not for us only. For the coming peoples. That's what we need.
Well, this is what the Citizens Committee is going to do. Are you going to support them?
Yeah, I support it, yes.
Well, that's real good. Mention about meeting.
Yeah, and it's going to be a meeting at the hall, Joe and Steve. And you can come to the hall. We want everybody out when we have it. We'll let you know when it's going to be.
Okay.
And all this pictures can be show you at the hall. Everybody what to say.
I'll be there.
Be there? Good.
Okay.
Well, Johnny, you know, we formed the Rosedale Citizens Committee here to try and improve the town. Primarily, we're looking towards getting gas installed and water installed. What do you think of this?
The idea is good, but who pays for it?
Well, ultimately, we have to.
Ultimately.
Yes, nobody is Santa Claus. Who pays for people that get their gas in other communities?
Okay, this is fine. We get gas, we get water, we get sewer. Where do we get the industry to provide better jobs and a better economy?
I'm here to tell you, Tony, right now that the valley has been raped.
Yeah.
It has been raped, and it's been raped hard. Now, generally, when something is raped, the raper pays the penalty. But somehow or other, we have been left to where we are paying for the rapist's pleasure for years and years and years, and we have figured that this has got to come to a stop. Now, we want not too much. We want sewer, we want water, we want the amenities of life, we want to be able to bring our children up in the way they should be. I'm an older man, my children are gone, but other people are moving in, contrary to what someone says, nobody looks at it. There are people moving in here. More people would move in here, but we haven't the facilities to attract people, to attract industry, to attract anyone. Now, we feel that we should have these industries.
Yeah.
Why should all the money be poured into 2 cities in Alberta and we are ignored? We are in the twilight zone. We sit here and they take us for granted. Are we in an Alberta reservation, a white man's reservation, like the Indian is in a federal reservation? I am comparing the whole of Drumheller Valley, not only Rosedale. What the hell are we in, a provincial reservation or what? We have communities around us like Morin with 50, 60 people in them that have sewer, they have gas, they've got water, they've got a big curling rink, they've got everything. Why haven't we got it? We're not saying we should get more, but why shouldn't we get just as much? Right. They raped us with the coal. They're raping us with oil. There are oil wells all around us, gas wells all around us. And I'm here to tell you now that we are fairly well assured of gas this spring, but at one of the highest rates in the province of Alberta. Why?
I don't know. Why?
Well, I'll tell you why. Because we're behind the 8 ball. We either pay it and get it, or you're a gone goose. This isn't right. I remember years ago when Premier Manning got up after the Leduc strike and he said, and I'll put his twang in, I'm a little bit of an imitator, not 1 cubic foot of gas will go out of the province of Alberta till all the people of Alberta are serviced. Hell, we've been waiting here 20 years, 30 years, we ain't serviced yet. Why?
Ben, Mr. Junior, we had a citizens committee formed in Rosedale.
In March 1970, the Action Committee edited the tape to an hour-long presentation and organized a public meeting in Rosedale. They needed strong support from the community if they wanted to reach their goals. Almost the whole population of the village turned out.
And I'll put his twang in, I'm a little bit of an imitator, not 1 cubic foot of gas will go out of the province of Alberta till all the people of Alberta are serviced. Hell, we've been waiting here 20 years, 30 years, we ain't serviced yet. Why? Did they?
Why is why we brought you people into this hall tonight. We want to know why. We want you to help us to get behind us. 5 men can't do this job we set out to do. We need more people.
Improvements, and do we want to get them, and are you with us? Are we on the right track? And we'd like you to sort of turn around and face the person next to you. Oh. and talk it over for 5 minutes, and then be prepared to tell us what you think. And if just maybe the front group turns around and faces the one behind them, and just hash it over and see if you can come up with something.
Well, I don't know. We've got 5, what is it? Commissioners, what is it? Well, it's up to... Well, that's right. We can have meetings and what have you, get together, and we'll all have to decide because we all want these things.
If we all get together like we did tonight.
That's right.
For all the meetings
And we'll find a
get
way.
together, united, you know, we'll make it.
The people of Rosedale felt very united after the meeting, and many became actively involved in the committee. A number of working committees were formed to go after water, gas, industry, recreational facilities, and other community improvements. Long and arduous negotiations with the government were held in order to obtain gas and water and support for other projects.
First of all, Ian Sallows, what's the Rosedale Citizens Action Committee all about, and why have you decided to take some action now?
The Rosedale Citizens Action Committee was formed at a community hall meeting from the opinions of the people that there was a need to make some improvements in Rosedale.
The committee also used other local media to reach the rest of the valley, explain their goals, and gain support. They wrote articles for the Drumheller newspapers and appeared on the local radio hot seat.
Water, for example, we haven't suitable drinking water. Our water is polluted, and we haven't no industry or no income in industry to promote jobs and keep people there. Our population is going down rather than increasing. And this was the basis. It's a matter of survival for Rosedale is what we're after.
You finding quite a bit down there?
The citizens began to pull together around community action projects. A quarter of the village turned out to clean up the streets and vacant lots, and a few weeks later they built a public park.
A lot of pop bottles, that's the worst of it.
Yes, I know. There's a lot of broken beer bottles, too.
Also that. And this trash. That's enough, I said enough, thank you.
What's going on here, Mrs. Anderson?
We're having a general cleanup of the town of Rosedale.
Oh, and is this part of the Citizens Action Committee work?
That's right.
Is that right? How many people are out working on this today?
I don't know. There was quite a few this morning. I think they're scattered all out through this part here, clean over to Ariel and down towards Wayne. There's some raking and some burning, and there's a crew out gathering up old cars and trucks.
Is that right? Well, can we go over and take a look at the crew that are gathering up the old cars and
Yeah, I
trucks?
think that'd be kind of interesting to see.
Good.
Nice to see the old wrecks get moved, too.
Yes, I think so.
Hey, Peter, this is what you call instant burning on the spot, eh?
Yeah. It's nothing but it was burning.
Well, this place, Rosedale and Star Mine, is quite a busy place today. What's going on?
Oh, my God. It's never been that busy in 40 years.
Is that right? So it's been a real cooperative...
A day.
Here we are at the Rosedale campground. Tell me, how did all this get started?
Well, it's something that we've been thinking about but not doing anything about for quite a while. There's quite a few felt that there was a need for a campground around here, and we just kind of got cracking on it this year. I think probably mainly due to the Citizens Action Committee that got it going. And it just seemed to catch fire, and we were lucky enough to run onto this location. And
We have gained. We have, since we started to better the town with the cooperation of Tony, which brought the people together, we have gained small items. We have our lights, our fluorescent lights. We got a piece of land for a park. We got a few signs. These are insignificant things. They don't really make a community. We're frustrated over the water. We are told that we're getting it. We're still frustrated over it. Our gas is held up on account of the water. We're just not satisfied, really. You could say that we are satisfied in a way, but primarily, when you get down to the basics, we aren't.
All right, look, you're having a meeting tomorrow night with, what, 5 people from Edmonton?
We don't know how many. I think there'll be 8, Tony. We have the chief administrator from the special areas and LIDs, that's Mr. Isbister. We have his helper, Grover, coming down. We have another fella from the Department of Municipal Affairs coming down. We have the cost accountants coming down, and these are the boys we got to tear the ass off of.
Ivor, what's going on here?
By September, however, the provincial government had agreed to Rosedale's demands. Soon gas and water were on their way.
Right. So this is one of the benefits of the action of the Rosedale Citizens Action Committee, is it?
Right, Tony, you're right.
When do you plan that this water will be open?
Well, in about 3 weeks, to have it completed.
In 3 weeks, eh? Now, Ivor, it looks like they're putting in, what, gas lines here?
This is the gas line, Tony.
So they're putting water and gas in here at the same time?
Right, that's right. And the gas, they figure and turn it on next Saturday.
Next Saturday?
Another week, yeah.
Well, they're going to have to move a bit, aren't they, to get it here by next Saturday?
Oh, they've come along pretty good, and they're working long hours at it.
So they're just about finished then putting in the gas?
That's right, yeah. Completed next week.
Well, Ivor, what's going on here? Is this the new fire truck that you fellows
That's right,
got?
Tony. That's a new fire truck, and we're practicing right now.
Well, now, how was it that you got this fire engine so quickly? I was rather amazed. I was away for a while. I came back, and next thing I knew, you had a fire engine and a fire hall built.
Well,
what's the story behind that?
When the government guys were down here and talking about water with us, and when they decided they couldn't go ahead with the water, we brought up, put in fire hydrants on the lines. And Mr. Isbister said, well, you want to do that? He said, I'll get you a fire engine.
Is that right? And the community then, the action committee said yes?
We accepted right then and spot.
It was part of building our community to have proper fire services, so...
So we're getting fire hydrants installed in the water line.
What's happened around Rosedale in the past 4 or 5 months?
Well, quite a bit happened.
Like what?
Well, we're getting gas and water. We're supposed to, I guess. Get water, and we've built ourselves a park. And we've cleaned up the town a little bit.
And your factory may be moving in?
Yeah, I've heard talk about it. I haven't heard too much about it.
Well, now, in your views, then Rosedale has organized and they brought about some pretty good changes.
Oh, yeah, this year we've come quite a ways.
Where we got this spirit in the community and the people behind the committee and gave them an absolute open blanket to do what the hell you can but help us. And this is how we've been working. And this is what you are going to have to do. No community is going to get off their ass and do anything unless fellows like you go in there with your equipment and bring them together and make a cohesive unit out of that community to where they're demanding certain things but demanding them together, not fragmentized. And then governments will listen. 1 man, 2 men, 5 men aren't worth anything when you're talking to a government. But if they know there's a certain amount of votes behind, or resentment, or a little bit of threat of the press or anything, then they want to throttle it. Oh, we got to do something with these guys, we got to shut them up. Now, some communities may be satisfied to shut up when they have gained one little thing. Rosedale will never shut up.
In the year since autumn 1970, Rosedale has attracted a plastics factory, a supermarket, and a small upholstery shop. A beer garden during the summer of 1971 attracted people from all over the valley. The future looks different now.